This is Module 6, Lesson 1 on your own. You can find this on page 182, or you can log into your online math book and check out what's assigned to you. So this is a circle graph, and it shows the preferences of town residents for the new playground equipment in a park. So swings is this much, obstacle course, and sandbox. So swings is half. If 240 residents respond to the survey, how many residents prefer each type of playground equipment? So our hint, use the ratio of the measure of the section angle to 360 degrees and find the equivalent ratio with a second quantity of 240 residents. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to get my work page. And you should too. Okay, so we're going to use the ratio of the measure of the section angle to 360 degrees. The first one is swings. And using your protractor, you will find that this is 180 degrees right here. So I have 180 degrees out of 360. And we need to change that into 240 because there are 240 residents. Okay, I know I can't change 360 to 240 in one step. So we're going to have to use something called scaling. So scaling is where you divide and then multiply. So you have to pick a number that can go into both 180 and 360. I'm going to do 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6, and then you add your 0. And then 36 divided by 3 is 12, and add your 0. Now 120 can be made into 240 by multiplying by 2. And we're going to do 60 times 2 also because that's on top. 60 times 2 is 120. If you would have rather gone, well, swings is half of that. Half of 240 is 120. That is perfectly fine. Oops. And sandbox. If you use your protractor, you will see that what the degree is in here. Okay, so this one is sandbox. I paused it and I went through so I could have it exactly how I wanted. So sandbox, if you use your protractor, you should have gotten 60 degrees. So my part is 60. My hole is 360 because 360 degrees is the circle. So I'm going to do the divide by 3 and times by 2 because we need 240 on bottom because that's how many residents there are. So 60 divided by 3 is 20. 20 times 2 is 40. So 40 residents there. And then for the obstacle course, I use my protractor and I got 120 there. So I'm going to do the same exact things to get to 240. So I have to do the same things on top. 120 divided by 3 is 40. 40 times 2 is 80. And just like that. And I know this is really complicated, especially if you're not doing this in person with me. So just try your best. Number 4, Mr. Perez's science students conducted a wildlife count in the local forest. The results of their count are shown in the table. So we're going to find the angle measure for each section of a circle graph. So we have the parts, but we need to get the holes. To do that, to get the hole, we have to add these all together. When I add all of those together, I get 50. So I have S for squirrel, which is 25 over 50. I have R for rabbit, which is 10 over 50. D for deer, which is 10 over 50 again. And I have R, A for raccoon, and that's 5 over 50. And we need to get those to be 360. And that's what we are going to do. I'm going to leave a little gap because I know I cannot change 50 into 360. So we're going to have to use some scaling. So on this one, I'm going to divide by 25, because when I divide by 25, I get 1 over 2. And then 2 times, we have to figure out what gets us to 360. 2 times what is 360? And you should get 180. So 1 times 180, we get, for squirrels, we get 180. So that's half of the circle. Now for this one, I'm going to divide by 10. So you have to pick a number that you can go into both of them. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 50 divided by 10 is 5. And so you're going to take 3, figure out 5 times what is 360. And if you could see my math book, you'll see that I have a lot of work trying to figure that out. That's going to be times 72. If I multiply by 72 down here, I'm going to do that up here. 1 times 72 is 72. So 72 degrees is rabbits. Our deer, we're going to, guess what? We get to do the exact same thing as we did up there because this and this are the same. So this is 72 degrees also. And then we're going to end with our raccoon. I'm going to divide by 5. You get 1 over 10. Then 10 times 36 is 360. So 1 times 36 is 36 degrees. And those are my degrees. So remember, when we're scaling, you might have chosen a different number than me. You just have to remember the number you divide by has to be the same on the top and the bottom. And the same number has to go into both of those. And then whatever number you choose to scale by, the second part, you need to make sure can change into it. It takes a little bit to get used to. So give yourself a break. It might not come easy at first to you. Now, in your book, it makes you draw the circle graph yourself. Here, it does not. So you just have to pick which one. So we're using our information over here. We had that squirrel was 180. So that's half of it. So we either know it's going to be this one or this one. And we know that rabbit and deer should be the same. So rabbit and deer. So I'm going to go with that one because here deer and raccoon are the same. There. Okay, next. Daniela listened to a popular radio station for 1 hour. Then she made a circle graph to summarize what she had heard. So I'm looking at here, music, we did a lot. So we're going to complete the table. So the angle measure. So using your protractor, you got music to be 210, news to be 60, commercials also 60, and DJ talk 30. So if I look at my hint, apparently my hints aren't coming today. Oh, there we go. So hint, write ratios with the angle measure of 360, then use the equivalent to find the ratios. And there are 60 minutes in an hour. So what we are going to do is we know that for music, or an M for music, there's 210 degrees in our circle graph. And they said 1 hour. but they're telling us 60 here because we need to do it in minutes. So we're going to change. We're trying to find this right here. To make 36 into 60, I'm going to divide by 6. And so 210 divided by 6. 6 times 3 is 18. 18, 19, 20, 21. So we get 3. Drop our 0 down. 6 goes into 35 times. So I got 35. So 35 minutes for this one. I'm going to write for news. And we get 60. We can do, this is also commercial, so we get to write the same number down here. So 60 minutes or 60 degrees out of 360. Remember, an hour is 60 minutes. So we're going to find this box right here. Again, we're going to divide by 6. And 60 divided by 6 is 10. So we got lucky here because both of these are 60. So both answers will be 10. And our DJ. So DJ is 30. So 30 over 360 out of 60 minutes. To get from 360 to 60, again, we're going to divide by 6. We're going to do that on top, and we get 5. Now, you could have looked and saw that the news and commercials were 60. DJ Talk was 30, and that's half. So you might have just been able to half it without actually having to do anything. Now, give yourself some leeway on this. It is harder than what we have been doing. We're learning to use a new tool. You have a protractor. So give yourself some leniency here.